The 100th season of NFL football kicked off last night. We saw the oldest rivalry in the NFL kick off the season for 2019. The Chicago Bears, the Green Bay Packers. Highly anticipated. We were expecting a great game, but what we were not expecting was a throwback game to the 1960s. We saw two defenses dominate. Two defenses play outstanding, but we also saw some pretty bad offensive play. We saw some pretty sloppy football, and overall, it created a buzz around the game that I'm not loving. First, we're not crediting the defenses on both sides of the ball. We're blaming everything on the offenses. And second, for specifically the Chicago Bears, it's like the sky is falling for their quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing on Twitter. That's the biggest thing I'm seeing from fans around the NFL, from NFL experts. And to me, I saw a completely different NFL game than you guys did, obviously, and I've now gone back to check it and make sure that all my thoughts from last night were 100% the same as today. Because last night, I saw a game where the Chicago Bears offense, all 11 players, including their offensive coach, Matt Nagy, they were not syncing. They were not together. This was not a unit that looked like they had everything at 100% and were just hitting on all cylinders. It wasn't just their quarterback. And what's driving me absolutely crazy about the national narrative around the Bears is that they are a great football team with only one flaw, and that one flaw is their quarterback play in Mitch Trubisky. And I'm not trying to sit here and defend Trubisky and say he's fantastic and say he is the next coming of Tom Brady or anything like that. I'm not saying that because Trubisky did not play a great game yesterday, but neither did anybody on the offensive side of the football of the Chicago Bears. Neither did any of their coaches on the offensive side of the ball. And the Packers defense is legit. We've been sitting here, and specifically I've been sitting here saying, hey, the Packers have the potential to have a top 10 defense in 2019, and yet nobody is taking that seriously. Everybody is just saying what a disaster the Bears are, and not crediting, hey, the Packers defense is legit. I mean, they added a ton of different playmakers in their secondary, up front, to their pass rush. They have a good defensive coordinator that seemed to know just about everything that the Bears were going to do last night. And I just want to say, the Bears have a lot of things to fix going into week number 2. I'm here to tell you what they are, and I'm also here to tell you if they don't fix these things, it's more than Trubisky. They're in trouble in 2019. Gronk, spike the like button. Comment below your opinion on the Chicago Bears, what you saw last night. What did you think of Trubisky? What did you think of the Bears as a whole? What did you think of last night's game? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, Gronk, spike the like button and subscribe to the Bottom Line View if you haven't already for more rants and topics around the NFL. So again, it wasn't all Mitchell Trubisky, and it certainly wasn't the defense for the Bears. And it wasn't even the kicking, which is incredible. They actually made their field goal, which is awesome. I want to start with the coaching. Matt Nagy. He was God's gift to the NFL last season. 12-4, leads the Bears to the NFC North Championship, leads them to the playoffs, which, by the way, I thought they would make the playoffs last year. So, I mean, it wasn't super surprising that they made the playoffs last season. In fact, I thought those were their expectations last season because they had a very talented team last season. And then going into this year, they have higher expectations. They're one of the teams that people expect to get to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. A lot of people are picking them to go to the playoffs once again. A lot of people are picking them to win the division again. And clearly, this wasn't a head coach that was ready for week 1. My question is, was Matt Nagy solved over the course of this offseason? Was his one season of tape enough for Pettin and the rest of the defensive coaches, at least brilliant minds across the NFL defensively, enough to say, hey, we have this guy solved? We know all the things he loves to do. We have all his trickery figured out. We have all his concepts, and we're just going to sit on him. Because last night it seemed like the Packers were smothering the Bears receivers. They were all over every sort of passing concept. They couldn't run the football with any consistency. They couldn't pick up any sort of blitzes, and Matt Nagy could not make one call that could help his offense last night. So my first question is Matt Nagy actually a legitimate offensive mastermind like a lot of people do believe he is? The second thing I like to say about Matt Nagy is the play calling. Again, I've gone back, I've watched this game now twice. The play calling in that game was horrible, horrendous, and the biggest reason why it was bad was because it was just simply too fancy. I understand one trick play. I understand two trick plays. But when you're trying to do a trick play every play of the first series or multiple times a game or one per drive, it's just too much. You need to line up. You need to play football, especially if you want to give confidence to your team. I understand maybe with the first play what you were trying to do there, spark the crowd, spark your offense, get some confidence going. But why are you running a receiver, Cordero Patterson, on a 3rd and 1 versus a big front seven who's been destroying you all game, instead of possibly doing something different or putting in an actual good running back in David Montgomery, who has proven that, and Twitter will tell you this, had a lot of broken tackles in college football and showed you that throughout the course of the game. It's 3rd and 1, and I'll get to this in a little bit. There were a whole lot of short yardage 3rd and 1s that they should have converted that they didn't because of play calling and because of pure stupidity. They were not using their playmakers correctly, and again, I blame this on Matt Nagy. Why is David Montgomery not playing more? He is your best playmaker on the offensive side of the ball, especially at the running back position. He breaks tackles, he can catch the ball, he can run the best on the team out of the backfield. I mean, inside, outside, he makes guys miss. He is electrifying as a young player, and you can see that in just 3 to 4 touches. You can see that right off the bat that he's better than Mike Davis, and there is no reason whatsoever why Davis should be on the field over Montgomery. If you're saying it's because of pass blocking, I don't care, okay? If you're getting the football to a running back, it should be Montgomery. Probably you should get Cohen the ball at least once on the ground. And I understand Cohen was playing a little bit of slot receiver, which I also don't understand. Why are you playing Cohen at slot when he's better utilized out of the backfield, when the biggest flaw of the Packers defense is their linebacking core, and you're not attacking that with Tariq Cohen, one of the best receiving backs in the NFL? Again, leaves me speechless. Instead, you put him in the slot versus a good corner, and you're expecting him to win that matchup more consistently than not. Does not make sense. You could use Montgomery and Cohen out of the backfield, even Davis for all I care, against these linebackers, and we saw absolutely none of that. Is Mitch Trubisky limited? Is that part of the reason why Nagy is calling the plays he's calling? Yes, it probably is. Mitch Trubisky struggles throwing to his left. He struggles with field vision. He sometimes struggles with pressure in his face. But a lot of quarterbacks do. When you take a look at a guy like Dak Prescott, he struggles with very similar aspects to his game that Mitch Trubisky struggles with, but they also have strengths. Mitch Trubisky did make great plays behind the scrimmage and extending the play. He is also very good outside the pocket at hitting guys coming back or on the run, and he is one of these quarterbacks that you at least need to allow to get in a rhythm, because when he gets on a rhythm, he can become hot and he can make big plays. You also need to use his legs. He's one of the best running quarterbacks in the league, and we only saw him run like 2 or 3 times over the course of the game. That's the same thing for a guy like Dak Prescott. Going back to Montgomery, you need to play this guy more. Again, him and Cohen should be the running back group for the entirety of a game, unless one of them gets injured, then you pop a guy like Davis in there. To me, this completely reminds me of when the Patriots last year would not put enough faith in the rookie running back Sony Michel, instead using Rex Burkhead far too often than they should have. and just giving Michel the football. And that's really when the Patriots started to take off, was when Michel was the lead guy. If they needed Burkhead, they put him in. And Burkhead's probably better than Davis, to be honest with you. But they're similar type of players. They're okay. They're serviceable, but they're not excellent running backs like a Michel or like a Montgomery. So to me, you just need to play Montgomery more, and you need to get Cohen, your most explosive playmaker, the football more than you did, especially out of the backfield, especially running or just catching screens or anything to get him in the open field, because he's that good as well. Now, another thing that I didn't understand from the Bears' offensive perspective is they were not passing the ball early in downs, and they were not passing simple passes or simple rhythm throws to get Mitch Trubisky in a rhythm. One of the biggest things that is really trending right now in NFL analytics, and Warren Sharp is a big proponent on this and just getting this out there, is throwing the ball to running backs on first down, or throwing the ball in general short on first down, because the way of running the football on first and second only sets up your quarterback for horrible third down situations, which I'll get into in a little bit here. But it just seems like the Bears were not allowing Mitch Trubisky to get in any rhythm. They were playing safe with him. They had the training wheels on, and they were not letting him loose in any way, shape, or form. Now, I will give credit to Nagy that they did allow him to throw some screens later in the game, which they were actually moving the football later in the game. But you need to do that earlier on to get just simple passes, get the quarterback going, and also get some yak, get some yards after catch, and get your best playmakers the football early in the game, early in your drives. Maybe Nagy wasn't expecting what the Packers threw out at him, because it's completely unpredictable. Of course, the Packers have a lot of new defensive players, and I will give him that credit, or at least that little sense of, okay, I understand, because the Packers have a lot of different players on defense. They have maybe a little bit different in terms of scheme type of things. But to me, it just seemed like Pettine was all over what Nagy wanted to do, and Nagy had no answers for anything that the Packers defense was throwing at his offense. Now I want to take a look at something very specific, and that is third down offense from the Chicago Bears in last night's game. And this is the biggest takeaway I took away in the second viewing of this game. Now, the first thing is just the terrible situations that Mitch Trubisky as a quarterback was put in, and that you cannot expect any quarterback, no matter the name, no matter if it's Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, Johnny Unitas, Otto Graham, Brett Favre, or Aaron Rodgers, you cannot expect these guys to make consistent third down and long conversions. And then also taking a look at some of the stupid, just plain dumb play calling on third and short. So first off, 3rd and 9. All right, let's take a look at these. 3rd and 9, first third down. I'm going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 third or fourth downs here. And the first one, 3rd and 9, sack. Okay, first problem here. 3rd and 9. That's a long conversion. 3rd and 9, more often than not, the defense gets the stop. And more often than not, the defense is going to send pressure, and you're not going to have enough time to convert that 3rd and 9 in the NFL today. And especially the way the Packers were covering the Bears receivers, which was another massive issue, you were not going to convert that 3rd and 9. I don't care if you're Steve Young, or if you're Boomer Esiason, or if you're Michael Vick in 2004 Madden, you're not going to be able to convert consistently on 3rd and 9. So the first one's a sack. The second 3rd and 9's an incompletion, which that one was the one where he scrambled, got away from the pressure. Good for Mitch Trubisky. Throws across his body. Bad decision. Probably should have just continued to scramble, but he was trying to force a play, but none of his receivers were open. Tries to throw it across the field, and it almost gets intercepted. That was the second one. He got lucky there. The third one was the 3rd and 1 Patterson run, which was just dumb. We know this. Okay, if you want to run Patterson, give him a reverse, give him a jet sweep, use him in a screen pass, or maybe use him on 1st or 2nd down. Don't use him on 3rd and 1 when it's a power running game. Cordell Patterson is a big receiver, but he's not a Montgomery even a Mike Davis in that situation. 3rd and 14. Again, why are you expecting Mitch Trubisky to convert 3rd and 14? Your offensive line's not protecting you well enough. Your receivers are not getting good enough releases off the line. Packers are playing man-to-man press coverage. They're not getting open or any separation. Again, I don't care if you're Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, Matt Stafford, Tony Romo. I don't care who you are. You're not going to get 3rd and 14 against a defense that's just outplaying, a secondary specifically, that's outplaying your receivers. Then 3rd and 9, screen pass. Okay, what does Mitch Trubisky have to do there? You call the screen pass. It's at the end of the half. You're playing safe. Screen pass. Next, 3rd and 10. Complete for 2 yards because, again, nothing was open down the field, so Mitch Trubisky scrambles to the right. He finds Cohen for 2 yards, and that was it. 3rd and 1. They call an RPO, which, I mean, they could have just ran a read option to Trubisky. It was an RPO where basically it's a decision between the bubble screen or the run. Defense played it expertly. How can you expect Mitch Trubisky to do anything there when, hey, the run's taken up? Clearly, they can't run anywhere there. He's trying to make something happen, but the corner is all over the RPO because obviously the Packers have studied this and they were all over it. Just another dumb play call, in my opinion. 3rd and 5, mistake here by Trubisky. At least I'll give him the mistake here. The 3rd and 5 delay of game, which makes it a 3rd and 10. Another long conversion, which Trubisky does actually get the late read on Patterson. Patterson is open, but Trubisky throws it late, so that's on Trubisky there on 3rd and 10. 4th and 10, too much pressure. Receivers aren't open down the field. Scramble, nothing there. Turnover on downs. 3rd and 40, after 3 drops passes in a row, you call a screen. Nobody's converting 3rd and 40. Again, I don't care if you're 2004 Michael Vick. It's not going to happen. All right, 3rd and 10, they made a conversion later in the game, pass to Robinson. 3rd and 1, conversion, pass to Cohen. All right, 3rd and 10, the last 3rd and 10 of the game, interception, bad decision. He was under pressure, but it was still a bad decision because he locked on the receiver. Never lock on your receiver, and that's something that Trubisky needs to learn. He was still a young quarterback. But again, looking at all these, how are 9 out of 10 of these Trubisky's fault? I mean, I think I counted 2, maybe 3 that are Trubisky's fault. When you're expecting your quarterback to consistently convert 3rd and 10s, and you're run passing, or you are just not putting your quarterback in good situations, I mean, maybe Tom Brady has a game where he goes 8 for 15 on 3rd down when he's 3rd and 10, but that's Tom Brady. I mean, it's not, Mitchell Trubisky isn't going to be able to do that, and you need to be able to form your offense around the quarterback that you have. So, that being said, another problem that I have with the Bears that I don't know if it's fixable or not is I don't know if they have the skill players to really be able to run the type of offense that Nagy is wanting to run. I mean, the receivers really lack any sort of separation skills. They're not great at route runners. They don't have great speed. They just cannot get off the line. And it seemed like the Packers' corners and their secondary was smothering them. They could not get open. The only guy that was really getting any sort of separation down the field, Allen Robinson, had a couple of plays here and there. But even when Allen Robinson was catching the ball, he was contested catches. I mean, these were catches which were incredible, highlight reel type catches. What is Trubisky supposed to do when none of his receivers get open and he's having to chuck and pray every 3rd down because nobody can get any separation? Cordarrelle Patterson is not getting separation. Anthony Miller is not healthy. Gabriel was invisible outside of that one sideline catch, which was a bullet by Trubisky. Tariq Cohen is playing in the slot out of position. So you don't really have anybody to get open, and Trey Burton is injured, and Adam Shaheen is not very good. So you don't really have anyone to get open versus man-to-man coverage, which was a huge issue. And just overall, the lack of playmakers was something that stood out to me. Outside of Montgomery, Robinson, and maybe Cohen, there's nobody on the Bears right now that were making any plays specifically against the Packers defense. And again, the Packers defense is legit. They're good. So I feel like the Bears are going to have better games than this. Next week is not going to get any easier, though, as they do play the Broncos. And guess who? Vic Fangio. So that's not going to be easy. You need to change this offense, and you need to get Mitch Trubisky in rhythm. The last couple of things I want to say is penalties. They had 10 penalties for 107 yards. You're not going to win the game like that. I don't care if you're the 1985 Bears. You're not going to win the game more often than not when you have 107 yards in penalties. And the last thing is Adam Shaheen, okay? If Adam Shaheen catches that pass on third down, I think it was second down, it would have been 3rd and 2. It would have been a manageable situation. They probably would have made that third down, and they probably would have went in to score, which would have tied the game instead of Trubisky throwing that interception. Because it's a 3rd and 10, because it's a hard 3rd and 10 in the red zone where the field's tighter, and he forces a play to Allen Robinson. Instead of that happening, if Shaheen catches the ball, they have a much better chance of scoring a touchdown. All right, guys, I hope you see the game from my perspective now. The overall takeaways here is that we need to see better production out of the playmakers of the Bears. We need to see Matt Nagy give Trubisky easier opportunities to get in better third down situations. And we need to see Trubisky with better decisions. And overall, I think if the Bears can get at least an average offense this year, they'll be back on track. I don't ever see this offense being a top 10 offense this year, because they just don't have the talent, in my opinion. And last thing, feed David Montgomery the football. All right, guys, thanks for watching. It's been Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace.